Good evening, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of A Word with Pastor Webb. I'm your host, Pastor Webb, and we have a very, very special guest this evening. We have Mr. Demar Dotson. Please help me to salute my friend and brother, Mr. Dotson.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Doc? How you doing, Doc? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, how's life treating you?
It's going good. You know,
good?
everything, ups and downs sometimes, but, it's all good.
How was the drive?
Coming down here?
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, you got me up early this morning. I'm a retired man now. I don't get up till after 10 o'clock, so
All right,
I made
okay.
a special treatment for you.
I appreciate it. I'm not going to prolong the time. What's your story? Tell me how you grew up.
Well, I'm from a little, city called Alexandria, Louisiana. I grew up, with my mom and my dad. It was just me pretty much. I had a brother that's like 9 years older than me, so, just basically me in the house, grew up, spoiled, but my dad always had me working. I worked on, cars, I did houses, I did everything. I mean, I worked so much, I told my dad, I said, when I get grown, I ain't never working on another car a day in my life. And he said, you must gonna have a good job. I say, I'm gonna make sure I find me a good job.
Okay. Well, give me three words that best describe who you are, and tell me why.
Yeah, I say humble.
Humble.
I love being humble. I think that the Bible say that, God, give grace to the humble, but he resists the proud. So, I never want to walk in pride. So I just, I always try to, pride myself in being, humility, and I don't know if that's just a gift or something that you got to work at. So, I just love being, humble.
So how you big? How can you be big and be humble?
I don't know. I know people look at a big 6'9" black man and probably get scared when I walk in the door. I remember one time I was on the elevator with old white lady, and I got on there and she was just shaking, and she was like scared that she's sitting in the corner. I wanted to say something to her, like I'm not gonna do anything, but she was like so scared.
Yeah. Okay. So you're humble. Give me two more.
One I would say giving. I love giving. Sometimes my dad always talked to me about giving. He said, man, you're gonna give yourself out your house or something, man. I just love, giving to people. I just think it's better to give than receive. So I just love, taking care of people, doing things with people if I can. And, it's just hard to give. And I think that the more I give, I think that, God always give back to me. Okay,
so humble, and you like to give. And what's the last one?
And if I had to say a third one, I would say probably, faith. Faith been the journey of my whole life. Without God, without Christ, none of this would be possible.
Okay.
So my faith has been the cornerstone of everything that I have, been throughout my whole life, and it carried me through, 12 years in the NFL, and it carried me through college, and it's carried me today, and so everything I do in life, I build my faith on. So. When things ain't going right or things ain't going good, it's my faith that keep me going.
All right, so 6'9", 315, you're humble, you like to give, and your faith.
Yes, sir.
Perfect, Doc. Now, what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do since 2021? You got COVID.
Yeah.
What do you like to do for fun?
Well, I don't do a whole lot. I don't know how to bowl. I don't know how to shoot pool. I don't play golf. So, I really don't have a whole lot of hobbies other than, being at home and watching old TV shows. Like I love Lucy. I love Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son is my favorite show.
That's old school, man.
Yeah, Andy Griffin show. I watch the Andy Griffin show every day now.
That's old school. What you know about that?
That's what I grew up with my mom watching. So I'm used to it and I love it.
Okay. So you're homebody, okay?
Yeah.
No problem. Now, I heard you play basketball in college.
Yes,
but
sir.
Before we talk about that, I did some research on you. You tried out for the basketball team your freshman year, and you didn't make it. Talk about that first.
So I was actually like the biggest guy in the school, the tallest guy in the school anyway. So it was leading up to freshman trials. So I'm bragging, telling everybody, man, I'm gonna be this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm already like 6'4", so ain't nobody really.
So you 6'4" in 8th grade?
Yeah, 6'4".
Okay.
So ain't nobody really testing that, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know. So here's this big tall guy talking about what I'm gonna do on trials. So everybody like, oh, okay. Everybody just like waiting for me to see.
Right.
And I go out there and I stink it up. I can't make a layup. I can't dribble. And man, they embarrassed me so bad. I was the laughing stock of the whole school the next day. They scored me so bad that for the rest of the season, rest of the year, I didn't even eat in the cafeteria no more. I had to go to the library and get me a couple snacks and get on the computer during lunch.
All right. So in ninth grade, you didn't make the team. When did you make the team in high school? Basketball.
So I came back my sophomore year.
Okay.
And I made JV.
Oh.
And then I came back my junior year, which I made varsity, and that's when it started.
So you the man in your
junior. That's when I started rolling. Yeah.
Well, how many points you made average?
My junior year, I was probably averaging about I don't know, like 21, 22, something up in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from high school, you went. So you got a basketball scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you played 4 years of basketball?
I played 4 years of basketball. I went to a junior college in Southeast. It's called Southeastern Illinois. It's in Southern Illinois. I played 2 years there. Then I came back and I got a scholarship to Southern Mississippi, where I played 2 years of basketball there. So I played 2 years in junior college, 2 years at Southern Miss, and my basketball story ain't the greatest. I wasn't the best basketball player in the world. That's part of the understatement.
Okay, so high school, because you love basketball, you went to college. Okay, now tell me how you transitioned.
So I always thought I was going to the NBA. That's
NBA?
My passion. Yeah, I thought I was going to go to the NBA.
Well, how you thought that you weren't good?
Well, I was good in high school, you know what I'm saying, and growing up, you think, but when you go to college and then reality set in, and you realize you ain't good as you thought you was,
right.
And then you realize quickly that I probably ain't going to the NBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go to NBA. You thought you were going to NBA. 4 years in basketball. Well, how did you wind up playing football?
So the good thing about the NCAA is they give you 5 years to play 4. So basically, because I had never redshirted, once my basketball eligibility was up,
right.
I had 1 year to go play another sport. I couldn't play basketball again,
right.
but I could go play another sport. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting, it's like 1 game left, and the strength and conditioning mm-hmm. coach was talking to me, say, man, you should come out here and play football. I had never played football before. So we played Memphis in a conference tournament. The last game, we losing by like 20 points. And I know the season over when I'm sitting on the bench, just thinking like, what I'm gonna do?
Right.
And it's just whole thought just came in, go try for football, go. You know what I'm saying? So the next day, I walked into the football coach's office and I say, I want to play football. And he asked me, have you ever played before? I say, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? So he was looking at me like, what you want me to do? So.
Right.
It went from there. So he said, okay, tomorrow we have spring trials. He said you can come out and we'll see what you got and we'll go from there.
So when you play, how many did you play the whole season?
Yeah. So I tried out. They tried to put me try to find a position because I only had like just that 1 semester to play. This was like July, so season over in like December. So basically that 1 semester to play. So they were trying to find somewhere quick to put me in. Try to put me at tight end. I couldn't really catch. So they just say, hey, the quickest, easiest position that we can put them at is defensive line. That hey, just go straight or go this way or go that way. So they just put me at keep it simple. So they just gave me that 1 position. So they just say, hey, and I didn't really play much. I only played like 2 or 3 games. I only had like 2 tackles for the whole season. So you know what I'm saying.
So you only played total 3 to 4 games.
3 games.
And then you wind up being an NFL player. Well, tell me, how did the Bucs draft you?
Well, this how it was. Scouts used to come, look at other guys on our team. Right. So, when they used to come look at other people, lo and behold, here's this big 6'9" dude looking at us. Everybody asking, who is he?
Right.
Who is he? Oh, he's a basketball player. Basketball player. You know what I'm saying? So it was one scout named Dom Green. He was a scout for the Bucs at the time. Good friend of mine today. He said he came in and he first looked at me. He said, "Man, you look like an offensive tackle." And I think he just grew interest in me. He came back and worked me out individually. Recorded some stuff and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna take this back to Tampa and see if we can get you a trial or something one day." And so the draft passed and it's over with. And I get a call from Dom Green and he said, "Hey, he said we can't promise you anything, but we can get you down here and get you on a 3-day trial. You could, while the Bucs get and trialed and and see where it go." And that's what I did.
So you tried out the Bucs and they now someone told me when you tried out that the shoes was too small.
So I don't know what I'm thinking. So I come down to a trial with no cleats. So
basketball shoes.
It was some in basketball shoes. So I'm thinking that we're gonna be doing like some, drills and stuff. I didn't really think we were gonna be doing like 11-on-11 actual football work.
Right.
So I come down here and I tell the equipment guy, I said I don't have any cleats. Man, he cussed me out. He called me all kind of names, and he called me all kind of names. And what you think you coming down here for? And so after he got through cussing me out, he said, "What size do you wear?" I said, "I wear a 18." Now he wanted to cuss me out about that. We don't have no 18s and all that. So he said, the best size I can give you is 16. So he threw some 16s at me.
So you put on 16, you wear 18?
I wear 18. So, back then we were doing 2 a days. Now they do 1 a day.
Right.
They're more softer on the guys now.
Right.
But back then we were doing 2 a days. We practice in the morning,
right.
practice in the evening. So on the first practice, I went out there with the shoes. Man, they were hurting my feet. Just hurting. So I came back for the afternoon practice. I cut a hole in the bottom of the shoe, and like
the toes stick out.
Yeah, my toes were sticking out.
What?
So you know what I'm saying. So I went out there for the afternoon practice. They stepping on my my toes. It's blood going everywhere. I said, man, I can't do this. So I go back the next day and I just put my basketball shoes on.
Yeah.
And I finished the rest of the trial in basketball shoes. And it was Raheem Morris's first season.
Yeah.
And I remember he asked the offensive line coach. He said, why do Dotson has on basketball shoes? He said, I have no idea. So he pulled everybody up. He said, man, this guy here in basketball shoes, that's the kind of guy we need on this football team. He coming out here in basketball shoes.
Made the team.
So I made a team. After 3-day trial, Doug Williams pulled me aside and said, hey, we're gonna keep you.
Right. So now the Buccaneers picked you up, and you was on the Bucs team for how many years? How many seasons?
Well, I played with Tampa 11 years.
11 years. 11 team, 11 years.
One team, 11 years. I was the longest tenure Buck.
Hey, and you played right tackle?
Right tackle, yes, sir.
Awesome. And then after you left the Bucs, I heard you went to the Broncos.
I played 1 year in Denver. That was last year. I played last year in Denver, yes, sir.
All right. So you retired from football last year?
Well, yeah. Well, this year. Well, basically, yeah. This is my first year not playing.
Not playing. Okay.
Yeah,
so you fresh out. You fresh out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did it feel when you became an NFL football player? Were your mom and dad, family, were they all happy?
Yeah. The first people I called once I had made the team.
Right.
The first people I called my mom, I called my dad, and I called my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And just to hear the excitement in their voice.
Right.
Man, it was
You made it.
Yeah. Well, and they think you made it, but in reality, I was still a long shot because you still got to go through OTAs and mini camp and training camp to actually make the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't promised to make the 53-man roster.
Right.
So I still had a long way to go. But people think that, hey man, he made it now. Where the money at?
Yeah.
I had no money.
Yeah, Lord Jesus. But let me put the business straight. But I think it was 2016 when you got the big contract. How did that make you feel when you got the big contract?
Well, I mean,
Did you get a lot of phone calls? Or your partner, D, this your boy. Call me.
You get that regardless. just by having NFL on your name, you're gonna get that.
Right.
But I mean, it was exciting because finally, you feel that all your hard work done paid off, and
right.
and to have that moment, and I know we did the press conference and stuff, and just to know that Tampa had some appreciation for me. And that felt good. So it was a long time coming.
Okay.
For years I was underpaid, and and it took a little while to get there because of the contract that I got myself into. But it all worked out at the end of the day. So I was grateful for it.
All right, happy now. Now, Doc, so you retired now. So are you launching off doing businesses, starting your own business?
Yeah.
What's on the horizon?
So I got a passion for restaurant. I don't know why people say.
Can you cook?
I can't cook, but I can eat though. So I got this passion for restaurant, and I done dabbed in it. For the last about 5-6 years, I started a food truck. I invested in a couple restaurants. I even the soul food restaurant, the pastor, I invested in that years ago. So it is just that passion that I have. So I bought a restaurant property in Louisiana, and we're in the process now of trying to open it up and get it going.
Soul food.
It's gonna be something like a soul food, yes sir.
Okay. So, now, what advice would you give to a young man who wants to go to the NFL? Mm-hmm. What kind of advice would you give him?
Well, I would say one, work hard. You got to work hard because in order to get to the NFL, you got to work. it's nothing given. Two, I would say that just stay humble.
Stay humble.
Whatever you do, just stay humble. I understand a lot of good NFL players who then came in and just because of arrogancy or pride or doing crazy stuff get you put out the NFL.
Right.
And I've seen guys who wasn't as good as other people who done played 8, 9, 10 years in the NFL because one, they worked hard and they stayed humble and they did the right thing.
Yeah.
So
stay humble. That's good advice. Good advice, Doc. Growing up, I know you love basketball and football. Who was your favorite basketball player? And
I was Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, why?
I don't know why.
Big boy?
Hey, if you go in my room, you'll see Shaquille O'Neal posters.
That's right, LSU.
Some of them still hanging up.
LSU, too.
I was a big Shaq man.
Big Shaq.
Yeah, I couldn't play like him though.
What about football?
I was a Jerry Rice man.
You're right.
Yeah, I used to love the
Mississippi Valley State.
I used to love the 49ers. That was my team.
49ers, yeah.
Joe Montana, Steve Young.
Okay.
Jeff Garcia when he came. Hey, I was a big 49ers man.
Okay. Hey, what is your favorite food?
Gumbo.
100%
100%
New
gumbo.
Orleans,
I love gumbo. I went home about 3 weeks ago. Took Pastor Reeves down there with me.
He told me.
He had some gumbo.
Okay.
And boy,
so is the gumbo different from New Orleans and Florida? It's a different kind of flavor.
It is.
It ain't real gumbo.
They don't have real gumbo.
They have gumbo.
You got to come down there. I got to show you some good gumbo.
Yeah. We need to do that, Doc. Okay. Now, if you had one wish, what would it be?
I would say if I had one wish, I would put to have a long and successful marriage.
Okay.
I know that probably sounds cliche.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I my desire is to have a long and successful marriage. That's why I always ask people who've been married a long time, like, what's the secret?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still a young man that's still they're gonna go and trying to figure it out. I know I'm gonna make some some flaws and some ups and some downs. So I'm always trying to figure out, man, what's the secret? So when you tell me you've been married for 25, 26 years, it's something got to be you doing right.
Actually, it's God doing it, Doc. You trust in God and giving and taking, but putting God at the center. That's the key. A lot of folks run from God, but it's God. Yeah. And you married? How long you married?
3 years.
Oh my God, man, you got a long way to go, Doc. You're still engaged. 3 years, you're still engaged. All right, Demar. Now, what is the one thing that some know about you and others may not know? What's your secret that you can reveal to us that some know and others may not know?
Man, my secret, I can't tell you my secret.
The one you can share, the one you can share with us, yeah.
One secret that people might not know. Well, I would tell you this. I like to watch a lot of old school shows.
I saw that.
So I mean that's one thing people didn't know about that. Like like the Andy Griffin show. I Love Lucy. I sit there and watch Gunsmoke every day. In the heat of the night.
What you know about Gunsmoke, man?
That's what I watch. So people when I tell people that's what I like the new modern shows. I don't watch it.
But you didn't mention Good Times.
I love Good Times too.
We call that.
Yeah, Good Times. I love old school music.
Yeah,
and this new stuff, I don't even know what they're talking about. It just makes no sense to me, man. So when people see you I listen to old stuff. They say, man, you listen to that?
That's old school.
So people who know me know that I like to listen to the old stuff, and I don't listen to the new stuff. But people that don't know me might not know that.
So you're a young man with an old soul.
Old soul, 100%.
I appreciate that.
Like me and my daddy like the same music.
Oh Lord.
And he's 73.
My Jesus. Okay. Now, what are some of the early mistakes you made in life that you had to overcome? Early mistakes you made that you had to overcome.
In life, in NFL.
NFL, life, however you want to take it.
Probably some of the early mistakes that I made in the NFL was, the temptations with women, the temptations of going out and in the clubs and having to overcome and find your way through those things, because when you get a guy that's coming to the NFL and
not Jesus,
he don't have, he's his first time getting money and things like that. You got temptation, you got women over here, you got women over there. I mean, it's so easy for young people to get in there and mess up. That's why when you see, you turn on the news and see a young guy, a rookie, driving 156 miles per hour and killing somebody.
Wow.
Because, you know what I'm saying, when you give guys, money
Power.
and power and stuff like that, it's easy to make mistakes. And I done made a lot of mistakes, and I done drank and got behind the wheel and shouldn't have did it, but it's been the grace of God that I didn't end up in a situation like some of the people that ended up in. So there's a lot of mistakes that I made early on that that is just through the grace of God that I got through it. So I can always tell young people that, hey, always get somebody that got your back, and whatever you do, you stay in prayer, talk to God, because even sometimes through the stuff that we going through when we young, man, He'll get us through it.
Amen. Amen.
And I know He got me through a lot of stuff.
My Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, Doc. What has been your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is going to hell.
Going to hell? Why, Jesus. we can stop right there, Doc. That's
why my
going to
biggest
hell.
fear of all right there.
Okay, we'll stop right there. What are you most proud of?
What I'm most proud of?
Yeah.
I think I'm more proud of probably my kids.
The kids, okay.
Yeah, just I got 5 of them, and all my kids, I love them to death.
Okay.
And I do anything in the world for them, and that's people that know me know I love my kids, and I got my 7-year-old daughter. Man, she locks on to me, to my hip.
Baby girl.
Baby
go. Girl.
And that's my heart right there.
Yes.
So all my kids is my heart. So that's who I'm probably the most proud of right there.
All right, Doc. If you could trade places with one person, who would that be?
One person, who would I trade places with? Man, that's tough there. I mean,
one person.
I don't know if I never thought about trading places with people. That's difficult. Maybe I trade places with Pastor Will.
Don't step down, Doc. Just step up. Okay, well, that's good. And now you talked about God a lot. Now, how has God played a role in your success?
Oh, 100%. It's through faith. I mean, I came out here as a guy who never played football before in my life, to come and play 1 year in college, and to come to Tampa on a trial and to go and play a position I never played, because in college I played defense, that 1 year, and I come to Tampa, they put me in offensive tackle. Never played that position a day in my life, didn't know anything about it, and I just seen that God opened up doors for me in 3 years. Within 3 years, I was a starter, and I started that position for 9 years straight, so without God, when I look back at my story, I said, how in the world did I play in the NFL? I didn't think no way, shape, form, and fashion I would play in the NFL.
Look at God.
And it took a kid like me who never played football, 1 year in college, and to be a longest tenure Buck, 11 years there, and to play 12 years in the NFL. It's just through His grace and His mercy.
Right. So what do you tell young guys who are young people in general that think they don't need God?
Well, I would tell anybody, period, if you don't think you need God, that's foolish. Okay. I mean, He the one that wake us up. He the one that give us breath in our body. And if a person say they don't need God, I say good luck, brother. Because I need Him every day.
Every day. Amen.
And I know that He done so many amazing things for me, and things that I wasn't worthy of, and He continue to bless me, continue to give me health and strength. And man, that's. When I sometimes I get choked up just thinking about it.
Yeah, you go ahead and cry, man. You got your, go ahead and cry.
You want to see a big 6'9" man here crying on
TV.
They say, well, what you got going on over there? I ain't coming on your show. If you made that big joker cry.
Yes, sir. All right, Demar. Hey, 2 more questions. Let you go, Doc. Any closing words you'd like to leave my audience? Any profound words you want to say to my audience before you go?
Well, one, I want to say I'm grateful that you give me this opportunity to do it. When you asked me, I was more excited to do it. So I'm grateful for that, and I can always just tell them that God is everything.
Amen.
In the midst of my good and my bad, He's my everything. Amen. And everybody knows me, man. God is means the world to me. And I'm just so grateful in every day, and I just try to walk in that level of humility and not to get out of it, and I think that's where a lot of my blessings then came from.
Amen.
So
Appreciate you, Doc. Hey, very last question. Do me a favor. Look into that camera there and tell me what's the best talk show in the land.
Best talk show in the land is A Word with Pastor Webb.
God bless you, brother.
Yes,
and to
sir.
my listening audience, till next time, may God bless you real good.